Hey guys, what's going on? Talonflame HD here, and welcome to something slightly different than usual. Today I'm bringing you a FIFA 16 Sunderland player ratings prediction video. Bear in mind these are my own personal preferences, nothing generated by the community. If you have any comments about the players and the ratings that I'm giving them based on my reasons and personal predictions, do drop them in the comments down below and I'll take them into consideration. So let's get into the video. As you can see on the screen right now, guys, it's the goalkeepers. Now Sunderland only have two goalkeepers in Costel Pantilimon and Vito Manone. I've given Pantilimon a +2 upgrade from 74 to 76. He played 28 games for us last season with 11 clean sheets. To be honest, he solidified himself as Sunderland's number one. You know, after the 8-0 defeat to Southampton, Manone lost the number one spot, and it was only fair that Pantilimon was given a chance. Ever since then, he's played practically every other game apart from the last game of the season, when Manone played against Chelsea and we got beat 3-1. Given Manone played well in that game, I still say Pantilimon has solidified himself as the Sunderland number one for next season. That being said, Manone I haven't given an upgrade nor a downgrade because I don't think he's done bad enough. I mean, yes, you've got the 8-0 to Southampton, but to be honest, he played 10 games, he got 2 clean sheets. It's not something that you would downgrade him for, just for the 8-0 defeat. I mean, he's still not a bad keeper, but I wouldn't downgrade him just for the 8-0. I really wouldn't. So guys, moving on to the fullbacks, we've got Billy Jones, Adam Matthews and Patrick Van Aanholt. Now, Billy Jones played 14 games for us last season, created 6 chances, and he won 46% of his tackles overall. I haven't given him an upgrade nor a downgrade because I don't think he's done well enough for an upgrade, and I don't think he's done bad enough for a downgrade. To be honest, Billy Jones is an attacking fullback. He always has been. Every club he's been to. And that's something that he brought to Sunderland from West Brom. And I liked it because Gardner, he wasn't much of a right back. He was always a centre mid or a defensive centre mid. And that was something we lacked. Adam Matthews, I haven't seen him play much during the pre-season, so I wouldn't know his playing style. So I haven't upgraded nor downgraded him. As for Van Aanholt, 28 appearances, 35 chances created. He was a monster for us down the left-hand side last season, and he has been throughout the pre-season as well. To be honest, I've given him a +1 upgrade because, frankly, he deserves it. You know, he's done well this season. Last season, sorry, he'd done well. And his performances on the pitch, especially against the big teams, and his blistering pace, of course, helped him to attack as well as defend. If he can work on his defensive positioning and learning how to tackle when and where to tackle, he could get a possible upgrade next season as well as into FIFA 17. So that's the fullbacks, guys. Moving swiftly on to the centre-backs, John O'Shea, Wes Brown and Sebastian Coates. Now, John O'Shea, 35-year-old. He played 37 games, but it says it straight away in front of you guys, 16 defensive errors last season, with 54% of all of his tackles won. Now, despite that he won half of his tackles last season, 16 defensive errors for a centre-back, who was our first choice centre-back last season, isn't good enough. I don't know what Dig Advocat's going to think about doing with him as of next season when it kicks off in a couple of days' time, but it's just not enough. You know, he's 35 and he just hasn't got the legs anymore, not for the Premier League. So whether he chooses to use him as a rotation centre back or maybe a backup centre back, fair enough. But I've given him a -2 downgrade primarily for the fact he's 35 and he didn't do well for us last season. Far too many errors at the back. So 73 rating for him next season. As for Wes Brown, absolutely despicable. Absolute trash. He really was. 25 appearances for us last season with 17 defensive errors. Every pass back, well, mostly every pass back to Pantilimon that he made last season, I felt like he was going to fuck it up. Now, I watched the Sunderland games week in, week out, without fail, and every time I saw Brown get the ball, I panicked, because I didn't know what he was going to do with it. And Wes Brown is just Wes Brown, to be honest. He's just not good enough. He really is not good enough. He's the same age, or a year younger than John O'Shea. He might be 34, 33. But he's just not good enough. So I've given him a -3 downgrade, primarily for the fact he had a terrible season for us last season, like his worst in a Sunderland shirt. As for Sebastian Coates, he hasn't done enough to warrant an upgrade nor a downgrade. He played 10 games for us, only making the 2 defensive errors in those 10 games, and he won 53% of all of his tackles. He played the last, I think it was 8 games last season, apart from the Chelsea game on the final day. So for the 8 games before that, he played really well alongside John O'Shea. When John O'Shea made a mistake, Coates was there to mop up behind him, to clean up the mess. And that's something I liked, because Coates just sat there in front of Pantilimon, waited for orders, and he used his initiative. And that's something I really admired about Coates last season. So hopefully, guys, Coates, he can do it this season as well. We've signed him on a permanent deal from Liverpool. He's not on loan anymore. He is permanent, and hopefully he can do well for us at the back. The other 2 centre-backs are Jonas Kabul and Santiago Virginie. Now, Kabul, I've used his stats from Spurs last season. He played 11 games in the Premier League, but only the 1 error, with 59% tackle accuracy. I've given him a -1, just for the fact that he's transferred to Sunderland. Now, FIFA or EA have always done this in the past. When a good player has transferred from a decent team like Tottenham, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, whatever, they've always downgraded them because they've moved to a lower reputation side. Even though it's in the same league, and even though Sunderland have been consistent in the Premier League for the past 8 years, I feel that EA will downgrade him, even if it's just by 1, just for the simple fact he's transferred to Sunderland. People in the comments will probably back me up about this. People in the FIFA community will back me up about this, because it has happened. Now, as for Virginie, he's on loan to Getafe in the Liga BBVA next season, so there's nothing we can do about that. So I really hope he does well at Getafe and comes back with a solid mind, because he was our primary downfall during that 8-0 defeat at Southampton, and we really needed somebody strong, somebody with leadership skills to mop up, and John O'Shea didn't do that, because it was John O'Shea and Virginie at centre-back that day, and the 8-0 was just humiliating. I mean, I turned the game off at half-time. I really didn't feel like I could watch an 8-0 defeat. You know, it was 4-0 at half-time, and I thought to myself, you know, this is unacceptable. The team's gone to pot, and Virginie, I'm not going to take anything away from Virginie. It was a nice volley past Manone to score the first own goal, but since then he's just gone downhill, and he tried so hard to keep himself going and try and do better for the team, but he just couldn't. And hopefully this loan spell at Getafe will bring him back after next season. He might come back with a stronger mind, a stronger head, and he might do well for us at centre back. So guys, moving on to the wingers, we've got Adam Johnson, Emanuele Giaccarini and Jermaine Lenz. Now, Adam Johnson, everybody knows, it's common knowledge that he's got the court trial. You know, the underage sex thing. To be honest, it's not my business to comment on it. No, it's not my place. But he did play 32 games for us, scoring the 4 goals. He created 39 chances. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. But yeah, he's not a bad winger. He really isn't. When he's come off the bench, he's done well. Or when he started, he's done alright to get down the right hand side. He's beaten a few players. He keeps hold of the ball. His dribbling is unbelievable. So I haven't given him an upgrade or a downgrade there. I do believe he'll stay as a right mid. As for Giaccherini, he only played the 8 games, creating the 10 chances. But his pass accuracy is 89%. Now, Giaccherini is not a left mid. He never has been. For me, he's always been a centre mid, especially when he's played for Sunderland. So I've given him a position change rather than an upgrade or a downgrade, because I do believe, for Sunderland anyway, that he's more effective in the centre than he is out on the wings. As for Jermaine Lens, I've used his FIFA 14 World Cup card, which was an 80, and I've changed the stats a little bit. Now, don't pay attention to the stats, those are just personal preference, but it's close to what I believe EA will do. Now, Jermaine Lens, I haven't seen him play, so I wouldn't know. But again, based on the fact that he's transferred to Sunderland from a good team, go figure. But we have signed him for 9 million. He's done fantastic during the pre-season. I'm looking forward to seeing him play in the Prem. You know, getting down that left-hand side, or maybe even the right, cutting in, shooting, or getting the crosses into Fletcher or Graham, whoever's there. And maybe, just maybe, he can be a right goal starter for us this season. The go-to guy for chances getting created. Moving on to the centre mids, guys. Lee Cattermole, Jack Rodwell, Sebastian Larsson. I've given Cattermole a +2. Now, Cattermole is by far one of the best, if not the best, player at Sunderland. He brings heart, he brings strength, he brings leadership to the side. Regardless if he's got the armband or not, he is our heart. He played 28 games for us, scoring the 1 goal. He won 65% of his tackles. That in itself just speaks to me. Sorry guys, I just need a drink of water here, my throat's a bit raw. That's better. Now, 83% pass accuracy. You know, it's excellent. It is really excellent. And Cattermole to me deserves an upgrade after the way he's performed over the past couple of seasons. He's always solid. Forget the yellow cards, forget the red cards. If you took them out of the equation, he is unbelievable. Jack Rodwell, again, no upgrade or downgrade. Haven't really seen him this much of this season. He's made a few silly mistakes. He's a little bit of a hothead, not gonna lie, but what can you do? But Seb Larsson, I've given him a downgrade primarily for the fact he's turning 30-year-old. Now FIFA or EA do this a lot with players who are getting old. They give them a downgrade because they're getting on. They've done it with Antonio Di Natale last season. They might do it with Carlos Tevez, you know. But again, for the fact that Larsson's turning 30, I do believe he will get a downgrade, even though he was one of our standout players last season. I mean, what game was it? I think it might have been the second or third last game of the season. He went down in the 86th minute, or the 85th, with cramp. He come back onto the pitch, and he ran his socks off. He kept running. He didn't jog, he didn't walk. He ran into the ground. And he had to be carried off at full time by a couple of the players. And I thought that was brilliant. You know, he's coming on 30-year-old and he's running all over the pitch as if he was like 20, you know. Fantastic spirit, fantastic energy. I absolutely love Larson. But again, downgrade just because he's 30. The other two centre mids are Jordi Gomez and Liam Bridcut. Gomez, 29 appearances with 4 goals. To be perfectly honest, Gomez, all he is our penalty taker. He's not really in the first team picture. He's more of a squad player, if anything. And I just don't like Gomez. I didn't like Gomez when we first signed him. I really didn't. So I've given him a -1 just for the fact he's getting a year older, and the fact that he didn't have a good season last season. So, tough love. But Liam Bridcut, again, no downgrade or upgrade. He's just one of them players that's just sitting in the squad, doesn't do anything. Played 18 games, and he made a lot of mistakes for us last season, and there's nothing much we can do there. But we've just got to get on with it, haven't we? But I do believe he's linked with Derby for a move of around £2 to £3 million. That's why I haven't given him an upgrade or a downgrade. Moving on to the strikers, guys, and our last section: Jermaine Defoe, Stephen Fletcher and Danny Graham. Now, Jermaine Defoe arrives in January, doesn't get played until February, and he gets 17 appearances with 4 goals. And I really like Defoe. I've liked him since he played for Tottenham, and he's one of them strikers that gets in the position, he gets in the right positions at the right time, scores goals. No matter what club he goes to, he'll score goals. And yes, he's 31, but I like him. I really do like him. So I haven't given him an upgrade or a downgrade because I feel like he's one of them players that's going to do well anyway. I mean, that goal he scored against Newcastle, you know, in the Tyne-Way derby, that was just pure class. And that goes to show how much Defoe is well, it shows you how classy he is, to be honest, because he's unbelievable, you know. Yes, he could go 2 or 3 games without a goal, but then in the 4th game he could just turn around and bang a hat-trick in. He's unpredictable as a striker. As for Stephen Fletcher, you know, 30 games last season with just the 5 goals. For our main man, you know, it's just not enough. I mean, I think he's only scored something like 10 to 15 goals in the past 2 or 3 seasons, and he's meant to be our main striker. I'm sorry, but that's not good enough. And it's just, I mean, yeah, he can win headers, but he can't shoot for shit. And it's not something I want as a striker, as a fan, you know. It's not something I want in a striker that was bought to score goals. He was bought from, I think it was Wolves, because of the simple fact he was scoring goals. So I've given him a -1 downgrade just for the simple fact he didn't have a good season last season. He was very poor. He was terrible. Despite what people say, he's terrible. There's no getting around it. As for Danny Graham, he might get a downgrade, but me personally, I think he'll stay as a 69 rated striker. You know, he did well towards the back end of last season. He runs the channels. He runs all over the pitch up there in the final third. He holds the ball up better than Fletcher, and that was saying something. He kept Fletcher out of the squad for like 7 games. It comes to something when your main striker in Fletcher is being kept out by a squad player like Graham. Go figure. The only players I haven't mentioned are the ones that's left, such as Connor Wickham, for example. He has gone to Crystal Palace for a fee of approximately £9 million. To be honest, I hope he does well. at Palace because he's got the likes of Balassi and Kabai, Wilfred Zaha, Fraser Campbell, those kind of players around him. Hopefully he'll get a lot more service than he did at Sunderland and he'll score goals. So good luck to him at Palace. But this is the end of the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you have any comments about the players I've mentioned, do put them in the comments section down below. I'd love to hear your views on them. Drop a thumbs up on the video, it'll be greatly appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.